Welcome to another drawing from Let's Have Fun Drawing Together. Let's dive right into today's story.
Iron Man, the sky's the limit. Chapter 1. A mysterious SOS. Tony Stark, also known as the genius billionaire behind Iron Man, was having what he liked to call a light workday. That meant sipping a smoothie in his Malibu mansion, tinkering with a new jet boost system for his suit, and cracking jokes with Jarvis, his AI assistant. Sir, Jarvis interrupted. I am detecting an unusual distress signal coming from an uncharted island in the Pacific. Tony raised an eyebrow. Let me guess, another evil genius with a laser cannon? It appears to be a child's voice, Jarvis responded. Tony's smirk disappeared. He immediately pulled up the signal and heard a shaky, static-filled voice.
Please, if anyone can hear me! My name is Leo, we're trapped! Something is happening!
Then, the transmission cut out. Tony didn't hesitate. Jarvis, prep the suit, we're going on a rescue mission. Moments later, Iron Man was blasting across the ocean, heading toward the source of the distress call at supersonic speed. Chapter 2. The Island of Secrets. As Tony approached the island, he immediately noticed something strange. It wasn't on any map. That usually meant trouble. The place was covered in thick jungle, with towering cliffs and a smoldering volcano at its center. But what caught his attention was the massive, futuristic dome nestled between the trees. Jarvis scanned for life forms. Detecting multiple human signatures inside the dome, heat levels rising. Whatever is happening, sir, it's getting worse. Iron Man rocketed down and landed near the structure. The moment his boots touched the ground, the doors of the dome slid open and a group of panicked children rushed out. Whoa, easy there, kids, Tony said, raising his hands. I know I'm famous, but let's keep the autograph requests for later. A boy with messy brown hair and glasses ran up to him. You got my signal! I'm Leo! Please, you have to help us! Drive Dredd is inside and he's trying to activate. Boom! The ground shook as a deep, robotic laugh echoed from the dome. The doors slammed shut, locking some of the kids inside. A deep, metallic voice boomed, "Ah, Iron Man! Right on time." Tony sighed. Of course. Evil villain with a dramatic entrance. Should have known. Chapter 3. The Mega Machine. Tony turned to Leo. What's Dr. Dredd's deal? Leo gulped. He was supposed to be a scientist helping us build clean energy, but he went crazy. He built a machine inside that's sucking up all the lava from the volcano. He says it'll make him unstoppable. Iron Man groaned. Right, because nothing says genius like playing with molten lava. The ground trembled again. Tony's helmet sensors lit up with a warning. Volcanic eruption imminent. If he keeps pulling energy from the volcano, it's going to explode, Tony realized. I need to shut that machine down fast. He turned to the kids. Stay back, I'll handle this. With a mighty blast from his repulsors, Iron Man launched himself toward the dome. Chapter 4. The Final Showdown. Inside, sparks flew as a monstrous machine whirred in the center of the lab. Glowing cables fed straight into the volcano's core, and standing in front of it was Dr. Dredd, wearing a mechanical battlesuit 10 feet tall. Iron Man! Dr. Dredd grinned. You're too late. My lava core extractor is nearly complete. Soon I will have unlimited energy. Tony rolled his eyes. Buddy, I could have just given you a solar panel. With a roar, Dr. Dredd launched a wave of molten rock straight at Tony, but Iron Man was too fast. He dodged, firing his repulsors at the machine's power source. The lab filled with alarms. Warning, system overload. Dr. Dredd lunged at Tony, swinging a massive mechanical arm. Tony blocked with his own suit's reinforced plating, but the villain was strong. I built this suit to withstand anything, Dr. Dredd bragged. Cool, Tony said. I built mine to win. With a surge of energy, Iron Man activated his latest upgrade, a plasma shockwave. A blinding pulse of energy blasted through the lab, sending Dr. Dredd flying. Tony quickly ripped out the machine's power core. The cables snapped, and the volcano rumbled as it stabilized. Dr. Dredd groaned from where he lay. "No! My machine!" Tony shook his head. "Yeah, sorry, but I prefer my islands not exploding." Chapter 5. The hero they needed. With the villain defeated and the machine destroyed, Tony freed the remaining kids and led them to safety. Leo looked up at him, eyes wide. "You really saved us," Tony smirked. It's kind of my thing." The children cheered as Tony called for S.H.I.E.L.D. to pick them up and make sure Dr. Dredd was locked away for good. As he prepared to leave, Leo hesitated. "Iron Man, do you think I could be a hero too someday?" Tony knelt down. "Leo, you already are. You sent that distress signal. You never gave up. That's what heroes do." Leo grinned. "Maybe I'll build my own suit one day." Tony ruffled his hair. "Just make sure it comes with an off button, okay?" With that, Iron Man blasted into the sky, leaving behind a group of kids who would never forget the day they were saved by the hero in red and gold. The moral of the story: heroes don't need fancy suits or superpowers. They just need courage, quick thinking, and the will to help others, just like Leo. And remember, sometimes the smartest thing you can do is ask for help, even if it means calling a billionaire in a flying metal suit. Chapter 6. A New Beginnings. As Iron Man soared over the ocean, he couldn't help but think about Leo's determination. A kid like that, smart and fearless, had the potential to change the world, just like Tony once had, before he became Iron Man. Just as he was about to switch into autopilot, Jarvis chimed in. "Sir, I'm detecting a small tracking device attached to your suit." Tony's eyes narrowed. "Let me guess. Drive Dredd's parting gift?" He scanned his armor and quickly spotted the tiny device latched onto his left boot. With a flick of his wrist, he shot it off with a precise repulsor blast. The moment it hit the water, it exploded in a small burst of energy. "Nice try, Dredd," Tony muttered. Jarvis, remind me to check my suit for party favors next time. But something about this still didn't sit right. Why would Dr. Dredd attach a tracker? What else was he planning? Chapter 7. Trouble on the Horizon. Back at his lab in Malibu, Tony analyzed the data from the tracking device. It wasn't just a simple bug. It had been transmitting signals to a hidden location. Someone else had been listening in. Jarvis, trace the signal, Tony commanded. "Tracking now, sir. The signal is bouncing between multiple satellites, but the last known location is alarming." A red dot blinked on Tony's screen. The coordinates led deep into the Arctic, where no ordinary villain would set up shop. Tony leaned back in his chair, rubbing his chin. "Great. So not only was Dr. Dredd messing with volcanoes, but now I've got a mystery villain hiding out in the coldest place on Earth." He had a bad feeling about this, and when Tony Stark had a bad feeling, it usually meant trouble. Chapter 8. The Shadow in the Ice. Wasting no time, Tony suited up and rocketed toward the Arctic. The closer he got, the more his sensors picked up something strange. A faint energy signature, one unlike anything he'd seen before. As he landed on the icy tundra, a gust of freezing wind blasted against his armor. "Jarvis, warm up the internal systems. I'd rather not become a billionaire popsicle." Then he saw it. A massive structure buried beneath the ice, glowing with eerie blue light. A secret base. And not just any base. This looked alien. Tony's scanners picked up movement inside. He was no longer dealing with just Dr. Dredd. Something much bigger was at play. "I have a feeling this just became a whole new problem," he muttered. Chapter 9. A Visitor from the Stars. Suddenly, the ice cracked beneath Tony's feet. Before he could react, a blinding beam of energy shot up from the hidden base, engulfing him in a shimmering force field. "Uh-oh," Tony muttered. "That's never a good sign." Then, from the depths of the base, a figure emerged, a towering humanoid with gleaming silver armor and piercing violet eyes. Its voice echoed across the frozen wasteland. "Iron Man, You were not supposed to find this place. Tony tilted his head. Yeah, well, I have a bad habit of sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. Who are you exactly? And do I need to start worrying about world domination? The figure's eyes glowed brighter. I am Zor'Vek, guardian of the Celestial Core, and you have made a grave mistake coming here. Tony sighed. Great. Another day, another alien with an ego problem. He shifted into a defensive stance. If this was going to be a fight, he needed to be ready. Chapter 10. The battle begins. Before Tony could react, Zor'Vek raised a hand, and a shockwave of energy sent him flying backward. He crashed into the snow, his armor crackling with static. Okay? He groaned, standing up. I was hoping we could talk this out over coffee, but I guess not. Zor'Vek charged, his fists crackling with energy. Tony barely dodged in time, launching a counterattack with a volley of repulsor blasts. But the alien warrior deflected them with ease. Jarvis. Tony gritted his teeth. Scan for weaknesses fast. As you wish, sir, but I must warn you, this opponent appears to be far beyond human capabilities. Tony smirked. Yeah, well, so am I. With that, he activated his new plasma gauntlets, ready for the fight of his life. Chapter 11. Outmatched. Zor'Vek struck with incredible speed, his energy blasts barely missing Tony as he weaved through the frozen battlefield. Every counterattack Tony launched was absorbed by the alien's armor, and Jarvis was running out of ideas. Sir, the AI warned, our power reserves are draining fast. This opponent is absorbing energy-based attacks. Tony gritted his teeth. Great! Next time, remind me to pack a sword. Then it hit him. If Zor'Vek absorbed energy, what would happen if he overloaded him? Chapter 12. Overload. Tony flew high into the sky, drawing as much power as possible into his arc reactor. He needed a massive energy surge, one too powerful for even Zor'Vek to handle. Come on, big guy, Tony taunted. You want my power? Come and get it! Zor'Vek took the bait, launching a blast of pure energy at Iron Man. At the last second, Tony redirected his own reactor's charge into the blast, sending an overcharged energy wave straight back at the alien warrior. Zor'Vek's armor flickered, his body convulsing as the overload surged through him. With one final, echoing roar, he collapsed, his glowing energy core dimming. Tony landed beside him. Yeah, you really should have read the fine print. Chapter 13. The Truth Revealed. As the dust settled, Zor'Vek weakly raised a hand. You do not understand. The Celestial Core must remain hidden. Tony's HUD flashed, deep beneath the ice. A massive structure pulsed with energy. It wasn't just a base. It was a power source, something ancient. Then why is Dr. Dredd after it? Tony demanded. Zor'Vek's violet eyes flickered. He seeks its power. If he succeeds, your world will burn. Tony exhaled. Perfect. Just when I thought my week couldn't get worse. Chapter 14. The Decision. Tony could destroy the Celestial Core. But if he did, the energy could destabilize the Arctic completely. He could leave it, but that meant Dr. Dredd might find a way to harness its power. Then, an idea. Jarvis. Encrypt this location and erase all traces of my visit. If I don't know where it is, neither will Dredd, Tony reasoned. Zor'Vek gave a weak nod. A wise choice, warrior. Chapter 15. A hero's work is never done. Back in his lab, Tony barely had time to take off his helmet before an alert flashed. Drive Dredd had resurfaced. Tony smirked. No rest for the genius billionaire superhero, huh? He launched into the sky, ready for the next fight, because no matter how many villains appeared, Iron Man would always be there to stop them. The end.
Thank you for watching. Watch another video on our channel. Let's have fun drawing together, where another unique character embarks on a new adventure.